Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, hi, I'm Caitlin. Thanks for joining me. So I've seen a new tag going around YouTube which is called the palette tag. And no one tagged me in it, but I'm gonna insert myself in this anyway and do my own. So I've thought quite a lot about the palettes that I have chosen, and I've come to the conclusion that these are the palettes that are right for this tag. And so yeah, let's just get right into it. So number one is the newest palette in your collection, and this is the Steve Laurent Wild Thing palette. I got this in this month's glossy box. This is what it looks like. It's very neutral. It's what I'm actually wearing today. This is my travel palette kind of thing. It is very small, very neutral, and it's just perfect for on the go. I don't need anything like too bright and colourful when I'm on the go, so this is what I use when I'm travelling. My oldest palette, this is the Sweet Peach palette. I have had this for maybe 4 or 5 years. It's disgusting. I'm actually trying to pan this palette, but I don't know how far I'll get because I've noticed that when I put it on my eyes, it does like wear off and it's not as pigmented as it was in the past. She is showing her age. I will try and get as much use as I can out of this, but I don't think this is going to last much longer. I mean, she's like 4 or 5 years old. Give her a break, guys. So next on the list is the most expensive palette. This is the Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson Conspiracy palette. So I bought this on the surprise restock that Jeffree Star had on his website, and I let everything get the better of me because I dipped my finger in that. I let everything get the better of me because I bought this obviously from his website. His website is in America, and this was, I think, £54, I think. I'm not sure. It's $58, so whatever that is in pounds. It was that plus shipping plus customs. So this came up to about £70 in total, which I should have just waited for it to be on Beauty Bay, really. Yeah, £70 for this. It should have been not £70. But yeah, this is my most expensive palette when you take into account customs and everything like that. So the most affordable palette that I have is the Be Passionate About from Makeup Obsession. This I got in a sale. I actually decluttered this and it's still just kind of kicking around, so I am planning on getting rid of it. I'm just waiting to give it to someone. Obviously there's a pandemic going on, so no one can come around and look at my stuff that I can give them. So this is technically still in my collection because I haven't got rid of it yet. So yeah, the Be Passionate About palette from Makeup Obsession. As you can see, it is really, really lovely reds, but I just never really reached for it. That's why I'm deciding to give it away to someone else. This was originally about £6, I think, but I actually got this on clearance for £3. That's £3. So this was £3. Can't really beat that for £3. And that's what I thought. I saw it for £3 and I was like, I need to buy it, it's £3. But I just wasted £3. So the palette that I have been reaching for every day is, I do swap this out with something else, but this is what I use majority. The Warrior palette by Juvia's Place. So as you can see inside this palette, it is perfect for everyday wear. I normally just use this shade here. I don't know if you can see the dent that I've made in this. I've been trying to hit pan in this for so long. It's great as a bronzer. I do use this as a bronzer occasionally, not today, but as I said, I'm trying to hit pan on this. It's perfect for everyday. Lovely, lovely warm tones, which I am all for. I love my warm tones. It's just perfect. It's got shimmers, it's got mattes, it's got a deeper shade if you want to make it more dramatic. Perfect. So sticking with the Juvia's Place theme, this is the most colourful palette, and I'm sure you can probably guess what this is. The Zulu. So this is what it looks like inside. Very, very colourful. I do have palettes with more colours in it that are like colourful, but this I think has more of a like poof. You know, a lot of my other palettes have like a lot of neutrals and like loads of colours thrown in, but this is the palette that is the most colourful in my opinion. So here's what it is. It's got some mattes, got some shimmers. It does have this like one kind of neutralish shade, but I barely reach for that shade in this palette. If I grab this palette, it's for colour. All of these shades are so pigmented. There's a mix of mattes and shimmers, and it's just perfect for when you just need to go all out. Panto, this was my go-to for Panto. Yeah. So the smallest palette in my collection is this little guy. This is the NYX Ultimate Edit Bright palette. Look how tiny it is. It is so small. There's not much to say overall about this palette. I think it's okay. I wouldn't, you know, sing and dance about it. It's okay. It does the job. It's just the smallest palette in my collection. So the palette with the best memory is... I thought it was upside down for a minute. This is the Mini Breaker by Jeffree Star. So I bought this on a shopping trip to Liverpool, and that is where I saw my first ever Morphe store. And oh my god, I freaked out. It was just after the launch of the Conspiracy palette, and I went into the Morphe store hyperventilating. I was not expecting to see a Morphe store there. First ever Morphe store experience. And there was this really lovely member of staff who saw that I was freaking out, and he actually let me swatch and play with the Conspiracy palette, which I hadn't got at the time. It was round the back. It was just after it like blown up and sold out everywhere, so I never thought I'd be able to see it. He let me see it in person, the one that they have around the back that people like swatch and stuff. Yeah. So he showed me that, and it made my day. And I couldn't afford a proper palette, and this was sold out and being sold for like £200 online, so I bought this instead. So this was my first ever Jeffree Star palette, and it always reminds me of the time that I freaked out in the middle of a Morphe store. Yep, embarrassing, but best memory. So a palette that is worth the hype, in my opinion, is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. This, it still gets hyped, and this is like old. The colours were just revolutionary for the time that this was brought out. No one had done like bright reds and pinks. Well, these aren't bright, but for the time, these were never seen before shades, and it was so hyped up, and this is still a staple in so many people's makeup kits, and so it should be. It is so worth the hype, and I really love this palette. This is kind of too old to use now. I don't use it too often because the quality is just not the same as it used to be, but you cannot beat this palette. It is 100% worth the hype. However, something that is 100% not worth the hype. Can you guess which Morphe palette this is? This is the Morphe Hotspot palette. I hate this palette. Genuinely hate this palette. The mattes are very good. The mattes blend nice. No complaints with the mattes. The shimmers are non-existent. You need to like dig in with your brush to get the slightest bit of pigment. And even if you use your finger, they're just so like dense. They just feel, that's how I'm going to describe them. Dense. I think you can, I'm going to try and show you. I don't know if you can see very well, but the yellow shimmer, I've used that like twice, and it looks like I've used it like 80 million times because of the amount of times I've had to like dig my brush into it. I don't know if it's showing up properly on camera, but maybe there's like this shade here. I've used that once, and it just like, where is it? It is nowhere. Yeah, this is 100% not worth the hype. I don't see what people see in it. And yeah, not good. Okay, a favourite product from a favourite brand. People may be a little bit surprised at this. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Subculture palette. This is the second ABH palette that has made it into this video. So many people hated this palette. I love it. I don't know if this is the reformulated palette. I think it is. I love working with very out there shades. This pushes me to do some really crazy amazing looks, and I love the quality of this. This is honestly one of my favourite palettes ever. Just look at it, it's so good. I can't even say anything. It's just so good. I think it's really amazing. Worth it, 100%. And finally, my most used palette is the Violet Voss Nicole Concilio palette. This is what I use whenever I have a show. this bad boy comes out. You can barely tell that I've used it, but I have a lot. This is in my show kit whenever I do a show. Just stick normally this shade here, Hangry, in the crease, and it's just like, I never touch these bottom rows here, these two, it's always these top ones. It just, you can go subtle, you can go heavy, you can do whatever you like with this palette, obviously neutrally, which you don't get many characters in shows that are like all out. So whenever I just have like a generic character that I want to play, I put this on my eyes and it tends to work out pretty good. And the quality of this is amazing. They're so buttery soft and I really, really love this. Take this everywhere backstage with me. So that was it, guys. That was my palette tag. If you want to do this tag, then please feel free. I will leave all the questions in the description below. I would really love to hear your guys' favourite palettes or least favourite palettes. No shade to anyone mentioned in this video. If I don't like your palette, it doesn't mean I don't like the brand. It's just personal opinion, personal preference. I hope you like this video, guys. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time for another video. Bye, guys!